All right, welcome back to the shop, everyone. This is the Two-Stroke Turbo channel. Some of you have been complaining, I can see in the comment section, that I have not been producing videos on two-stroke cars. I have them all around, but as time allows and just things schedule in, there's two-stroke cars in my life everywhere I look. But things got to get fixed, and the order that things break down doesn't necessarily correspond with what viewers want. So I'm going to fix my own personal car. It's been down for, gosh, 6 months, I think. This is my Vespa 400 with the Volkswagen engine. It was a two-stroke car, so we're getting closer. This originally had a 395cc or 94cc two-stroke engine, two-cylinder. It now has a 1600 dual port, and it's pretty tired. It's starting to leak some oil at the rear main seal. I think the crankshaft has some end play. Stella, does your crankshaft have end play? No, that's not a thing with dogs, is it? You got the zoomies? You want to go home? We're going to ignore the dog for a moment. So I was driving this home 6 months ago. Loud pop, bang. I thought I ran something over. I couldn't figure out what it was. I got out, looked around the car, couldn't find anything wrong with it. So I drove it back to the shop, made a couple more noises, and then a bunch of balls came out, steel balls from a wheel bearing right up in there someplace. A bunch of balls came out. I just replaced the wheel bearings on this car not that long ago. I did a big series on it, but I didn't get the nut tight enough. I realized this transaxle nut needs to be like 300 foot-pounds, and I didn't have it tight enough. I had like 50, and that caused the wheel bearing to explode, which is a real bummer. So now the car barely rolls. It's completely seized up. Got to get it up on the rack, get everything apart, and see if I can fix that wheel bearing, maybe improve upon it. That's my plan. So I want to drive this car. Can't have a car that doesn't roll. That's just no bueno. So let's get this thing together on the rack, and I'll show you some stuff. We'll get a little technical, and we'll pull this wheel bearing apart. It's a totally custom control arm. It's a pain in the yin-yang. Oh boy, the last time I did it, it was awful, but I'm going to face awful again, I'm sure. So hang with me, and we'll fix up this car. Cute little thing. Look at that. How can you not love that thing? Okay, two-stroke turbo fans, we got the little Vespa up on the lift. I do have to warn you though, because this car is so rear heavy, it's very not safe on the lift. Sometimes I strap it down, but today I've got the lift all the way back onto they're not control arms, but they're like fishbone, I think is what you call it, for the rear motor mounts. So it's pretty well stabilized. And we're working on the rear here. We're getting the, when we got the wheel off, we're getting the rear axle off. So I've got the hub, drum brake backing plate cover off. I've got the spacer off. I now can pull the whole assembly of brakes off. And I need to hang that up so it doesn't just, maybe it'll just stay there. And now I've got to work on getting the control arm off. It's all a custom control arm. So the shock, the lower control arm, the spring, all those bolts, and I'll see if I can slide this off the end of the stub shaft. I'm not sure that I can. So that's what's next. You can see it's pretty rudimentary in here. Somebody built the frame, prior owner. The spring has been modified. There are no torsion bars because I guess it'd be too wide, so torsion bars are just removed, and they're just used as a pivoting arm. It's pretty janky, you might say. Transmission's in there. It is independent. It's not a swing arm. It is an independent IRS, I guess, transmission, and there's our engine back there. So let's see if we can get this thing apart. All right, so you can tell I got all my tools out, trying to get this stub axle off here, and I got the shock undone, the spring is undone, the control arm's undone, but I think I got to undo the axle. I think that stub shaft is pressed into the axle. And where'd those pieces go? Some of the pieces came out. It looks like my bearing shattered. I'm not sure that that's part of the race right there, and there's another piece and all the balls came out. I'm not sure if under torquing it did that. It may have just shattered from when we pressed it last time. I don't know. Let's get it apart, see. Okay, I think I got the control arm, the control arm or the bracket bearing ready to come out. Yep. And as I'm looking, if you look down right in there, see that ball? That bearing has completely shattered. Like the race is broken and the balls are popping out. It's kind of what I feared. I got to figure out how to get this apart. I think I got to press this shaft out and press in some new bearings. That's going to be fun. Jeez Louise. I can see I've had trouble with this before. I marked on it some tolerances.